what is it that makes a person more resilient and tough so that they don't become vulnerable to these conditions?
So what you're talking of is actually vulnerability to psychological breakdowns or psychological pain and chronic psychological pain. So I think tough people suffer that too. So I think what we need to do is we need to be able to distinguish that there is nobody who's entirely tough. So there is nobody who is eternally or always tough.
Yeah.
Everybody has those moments of weakness. But you're also right by saying that there are some who are more vulnerable compared to others. So once again, those three circles of life, and in the middle of the fourth circle is yourself, is society, your own environment, and your genes. It is just like some people are taller, physically stronger, compared to others who are thinner, weaker, and so on. So the idea that a child is born like a clean slate is not the right idea. Child has a personality at birth. Some cry more, some don't, some move more, some are restless, some don't sleep, some sleep at all, all the time, etc. So the thing is that that is the initial determinant, your genetic environment. Then, of course, how was your mother behaving? Was she taking cocaine at that time or smoking cannabis heavily or whatever? Will have a direct impact on how you were born and how you are being fed. So a drug-addicted mother, while taking drug and nursing the child, is also giving the child those drugs. An unwell mother taking antidepressants, antipsychotics, antihypertensives, anti-diabetic medication, whatever, is giving these physical and other medications to the child. So the thing is that you are vulnerable to those depending on your genetic makeup. Then comes your intelligence. So the more intelligent you are, the more you're able to deal with those. So the less intelligent you are, the less you are able to deal with these challenges.
When you say challenges, what do you mean exactly?
Say, academic challenge.
Okay.
You go to school.
Yeah.
You're highly intelligent. You're able to deal with the homework. You're not that intelligent. So if you're not that intelligent, you should be intelligent enough to realize that this boy can do this work in 1 hour. I need 6 hours. So I need to do those 6 hours. If you don't have that insight, then you won't put in those 6 hours. And then your environment. So if it's a nurturing environment, so if it's a delinquent environment, it is a sociopathic environment, it is a narcissistically oppressive environment, it is a borderline environment, then of course there's a problem. Then your emotional maturity is affected. Even the highest intelligent child will not be able to deal with severe abuse. So if there's physical violence all the time, there's sexual abuse, there is emotional abuse, there is this paranoid, drug-related prostitution and molestation and all that. How can you deal with that? And in terms of narcissism, if there is a degree of narcissism in you, that you do like yourself. So if you do like yourself, you want to give yourself a little treat. So if you want to give yourself a little treat, you want to do a bit of, shopping therapy. You want to do some beautification therapy. You want to, do some wearing nice clothes therapy. That's not bad.
So that's also a way to become mentally more resilient because you're looking after yourself.
You're looking after yourself, but you need to also not only look after yourself externally, You need to look after yourself internally. And the easiest way to do internally is physical exercise.
Right.
Because what it does is it physiologically increases your CBDs and the THCs inside in the body, the morphines and the heroines which are occurring naturally in the body. So you don't need them from outside.
But I'll mention Oprah Winfrey. She was saying how, for example, she was brought up in a very deprived upbringing. They didn't have any toys. She had abuse upon her. She just went through hell. But she also had a half brother and sister living with her. Her half brother died of AIDS, age 29, and the sister became a cocaine addict. But Oprah's life, you know, she's become world famous as a talk show host and as an inspirational figure. So she must have possessed, she did talk about her intelligence, how she was very into school and she was really into academia, and she also had a lot of faith in herself, which allowed her to take a more positive route. It means she was more mentally resilient as opposed to her sister who wasn't and had to go down a destructive route. So it can even happen within families. So those very things that you mentioned, intelligence, you know, the ability to look after yourself and all these things.
Here, something more comes into play. Somebody said, you know, what works, hard work or luck? And the answer from that wise person, luck works every time.
Right.
You have the stupidest of people becoming extremely rich and famous and influential. Hundreds of thousands of people overcome worse adversities compared to what Oprah did. She was lucky that she got those lucky breaks again and again and again. Whereas many other people are not so lucky. The majority are not so lucky. But what they do is they still are far more resilient than her, because without so much luck, they do make a lot of positivity in their environment. Majority of people deal with such crises, the deprived communities all over the United States of America and everywhere else, especially in countries where there is, you know, the average income is less than $1 a day. And so that's where you see that intelligence, that resilience, that love, the communities in, you know, the Cape Town or those townships in South Africa. They have culture, laughter, happiness, happy marriages, you know, but really no money. So all I'm trying to suggest here is that the majority of people deal with these issues very well. But these issues, a large minority, because of one social, personal, or other financial reason, will have serious challenges in life.
Right.
So I would say maybe 1 in 4, right? Roughly, 1 in 4 individual will, in any society in Britain, would have a mental disorder, or, you know, sometime in their life. So, you know, that's what generally said, you know, count the houses on the street and every 4th house will have somebody will need a, you know, and of course in the GP surgery they say 1 in 2 have that, and, you know, in hospitals, not in psychiatric hospitals, in general hospitals, you know, 3 out of 4 have whatever or more.
Why do you think it's becoming such a pandemic? Are people becoming very, you know, emotionally weak, that there's a pandemic of anxiety and depression across the UK?
I think there is some
parental nurturing, as you said.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's happened is that societies that have those structures, those familial embracing structures, contain that quite a lot. Societies which have broken those primary structures, because there isn't the mother to support you, there isn't the loving uncle who could. The uncles now have become more you know, some of them, not all, but some of them are more predatory than, of course, you know, one parent may have 6 partners,
Yeah.
and 5 children from 17 various partners, whatever the case may be. And so when there is that degree of intimacy, loyalty, commitment, because, if a parent has got 5 partners in quick succession, what's happening to the child? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
3 may be abusive, 1 may be nurturing. You don't know. So that's where the problem is. Because then what happens? You have your psychological makeup, you have your genetic makeup, but your social world is totally topsy-turvy, is dysfunctional. So the thing is that 1/3 of you is constantly raising and weakening and attacking the other bits. So how are you going to survive that? So in that society, that's where you see, sort of attachment with clubs and footballs and so on. That's why football is a religion.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of adaptive and maladaptive things happen there, right? Because then, of course, it's the culture and the culture of the dominant narcissistic sociopathic leader in those clubs that then determine whether you're going to be fighting as a football hooligan or behaving like a decent football, follower.
Yeah.